Good morning, everyone, and welcome to a weekly message from Jesus. Each week, we let you participate in a miracle, the miracle of actually hearing God's words. I've been blessed in many ways in my life, and being able to pass on his words is by far the greatest blessing I've ever had. So I'd like to thank all of you that tune in. Please tell your friends. I know our Father's here, and he's ready to begin. Good morning, everyone. Yes, through the years, I have sent people back to carry my messages. It started long before I walked the earth, and it continued after I died on the cross. Because there's always people that want to pay attention to my words. There's always individuals that know when they're hearing the truth and they want to hear more of it. Now, those of you that listen to me every week, I always want to thank you because you are so devoted. When I walked the earth, I had people that were devoted, that listened to me and followed me and did all the things I ask of them. Many of you who listen are doing the same thing. I don't know how you consider yourselves, maybe just fans or whatever. But those of you that truly listen and try to pass on my words, I consider you modern disciples. I know that you're going forth and you're doing all that you can to spread my words. And that's what those who knew me in life did. So it's really no different. I need people to go out and try to do the best they can to spread my words. During my lifetime, I needed help. There was no way that I could reach all of the individuals, and especially after they put me on the cross and killed me. I knew I had to have disciples to carry on my work, and I had many. They went forth and they spoke the words that I spoke, and they built churches and they brought listeners, people that would pay attention to them. And the word spread. And here we are, thousands and thousands of years later, and billions of people have drawn closer to God because of the words I spoke when I walked the earth. Now, many of you, you're doing great things. You're passing on the books that I had Barry read, you're talking to others, but you're simply living the good life. You're paying attention to what I would like you to do, and I'm trying to help you as best I can. And as I say each week, all of you have major problems in your life. There are many things, and I'm sure this is very redundant. There's many things that are out of your control. I try to make life as easy as I can, but the free will of others affects you in great ways. It affects everyone. When you elect political people, their free will affects you because they're passing laws that control you. The only control you have over them is by electing people that you think will follow your words. I'm bringing this up quite a bit now because we are approaching the electoral season. And it's very important that you send people to Congress that know democracy, because democracy, that is the type of government that I helped form. Do you think all the founding fathers, when they developed the Declaration and the Constitution, were doing it without my guidance? No, I was there helping them. I sent those people back to do precisely what they did. I needed a country that would pursue my ideals. They wrote the words, "One nation under God." That was what I wanted it to be, one nation under God. Sadly, as the population increases, it's not one nation under God, nor was it really when they founded the country. There were still many people who did not believe in God, but there were many people that believed in their own personal freedoms, so they fought for it. Each of you need to fight for your individual freedoms, and the only way you can do it is at the ballot box. You need to bring people into government that understand and will do what you want them to do. There's no need for armed conflict like the founding fathers were forced to do because they had to break away from a foreign country, from Great Britain. Great Britain was truly taking advantage of them, and they wanted to be free. Today, everyone wants to be free. There are many people in the world that have no idea what freedom really is. They're living in countries where dictators control what takes place. I speak of this many times. You've heard how I feel about it. Dictators are the individuals who are abusing free will the most because they are harming so many people. There are many people in those countries have no idea what the truth is. They have no idea what it's like to live free, to be able to speak what you want to say, to be able to do really what you want to do as long as it complies with the laws that have been passed. There are many laws that probably should not have been passed, but that's another issue. Today, I want you to focus simply on yourselves. I know and I believe that you are those of you that take time to listen. You're the ones that I sent back. You're the ones that are doing what I'm asking you to do. The more that you help lead others to me, the better it is for your own souls. That is no coincidence. When you pass from this earth, you're going to come back to heaven. And I know that those of you that are passing on my words and doing your best are going to have an incredible greeting. Sadly, there are so many people that don't even believe in an afterlife. They don't believe in the miracles. They think when they look at everything around them, the babies, the trees, the oceans, they think that this just happened. Well, it didn't just happen. It took a little bit of guidance. And you're hearing from the guy that guided it. I created an incredible planet for humans because I knew humans were going to have very troubled lives. You see, I know all these things because I've been around. I started all of this. I created it. I knew that I wanted humans to be able to advance. I started them out as being very, very primitive and made them evolve themselves because I sincerely hoped that through a complicated evolution, it would have ingrained instincts that would never leave them. And I put this energy that I speak of, my energy, into the heart of every human because I wanted, I guess you would call it a fallback position. I wanted that there would always be the concept of common sense and that energy of me. That is the common sense. So I know that common sense is present in every human. So I guess the question is, why doesn't every human fall back upon their common sense and do what's right? Well, yeah, those of you that listen to me, you know what's coming now. Free will. Everyone uses their free will. You can use it for doing good, or you can use it for doing bad. That's why I call it free will. And in many countries, you have the freedom to do what you need to do. In the countries where I could control the founding, freedom is the most important thing you have. And sadly, everybody wants to take away your freedoms. When a dictator takes away the freedoms, it gives them more power because they can control the people. If the people have no clue what is real or what is not, they can simply take their money and not rebuild the structures that fall down, not give them drinking water. There are millions of people in this world that are still using outdoor toilets because the leaders refuse to spend the money for giving them indoor plumbing. They use the money for their own purposes. They will build mansions, have yachts, do all of the things that they want to do, thinking that the couple years that they have left is all that they have. Well, when they return, they're going to find out that they could have done a lot better. I'm going to put them in an area where they can contemplate all the bad things that they did. But sadly, the actions have already taken place. Because of this free will thing, I don't step in. I let humans do what they want to do. Those of you that I'm so proud of, you're using your free will to listen to me, to listen to my words, to live a good life, to do all of the things, to use your common sense. I especially need for you to go out and speak to the young. The young are so very, very impressionable. A baby is born with no knowledge. They have to learn everything. They learn to crawl, to walk, to cry when something's wrong. I want you to make sure that all of the young understand that things are going to go wrong in their life, but that I'm always here. I'm always here to try to help them. You must teach them that prayer is so important at an early age. A simple prayer, the one they say before they go to sleep. Parents, when you pray with that child, you're setting a precedent that they will remember. They may draw away from it when their peers try to draw them away. But you are building an incredible foundation that it may shake a bit because there's earthquakes and problems. Problems are like earthquakes of life. But there's a time that all shaking ends. There's a time that all storm ends and the sun comes back out. That is what the child must understand. It may not be until they take their final breath that the true sun comes out and they go to heaven. But they must understand that by believing in me and following the words that I teach and using their free will in the proper way, they'll have the best life they can have. Tell them what it's like when somebody comes to you and tells you that you have changed their life, that you've given them words that have drawn them closer to God, that maybe they were contemplating suicide and that your words stopped them from killing themselves and cutting out their soul lives prematurely. There are so many benefits that will bring you joy. There are also so many decisions that you make that bring you grief. Grief is another situation that all humans must suffer. Grief is a generational thing. The odds are very high that you will watch your parents pass from the earth. You may have others close to you that will pass. When a husband and wife marry, they know that one will probably see the other die. So you must learn that grief is a terrible human emotion. I tell you that I suffered it when I walked the earth. I lost a daughter. I loved her much. You will lose people that you love incredibly, but you must still understand that that soul is now in my heaven and that I am now taking care of it, that it is reunited with those that have gone before. So there's always, I guess, a bright side. When things look the darkest, when the storm is the greatest, you know that the sun will come out after the storm. When you are suffering the greatest, pray to me more. Tell me about what is in your heart, how terrible you feel, or how great you feel, or how happy you are that somebody listened to the words that you spoke. Use prayer as a crutch. Individuals that are having trouble walking or getting around, they use crutches. It helps them. Prayer will help you as well. The use of prayer, there's no substitute. That is why it is so sad for people that don't believe in me, because they cannot. They could, but they do not pray. They ignore me. They don't even believe that I exist. So there is really no hope for them in that life. But their human life is very short. I keep telling you, your soul life is what's eternal. That's what's important. Your human life will end. You know that. I know that. Everyone around you knows that there will be a time of passing for every living creature. That is the way I want it, because I want you to return to heaven. It's like taking a vacation, like being refreshed. It's allowing you to know just truly how great the powers that I have are and how I have used these powers simply for the benefits of your soul. Everything that I do is to create a better environment for your soul, for while you are living an incarnate life or after you have passed. When your soul comes to my heaven, then you will truly know all the great things. But knowledge of what comes next, you're not going to gain that until you pass, and then it's too late. It's too late to really make the changes in your human life unless you believe the words that I'm speaking, unless you believe the words that Barry tells you, unless you pay attention, unless you change what is going on in your human life. Now, those of you that are listening, I want you to leave this show today feeling an incredible energy, a renewed strength, because I am so aware of what you're doing. I want you to bring people to me if you can. If they ignore you, if they swear at you, get mad, anger, all the things that people do, they did to me. And I don't want you to go through that. When people are walking away from you or is very negative, just simply walk away. Do not hold a grudge. They're just simply wrong. And there'll be a time that they'll realize they're wrong. You're right. You're the ones that are right. So don't feel bad. When you know that what you're doing is correct, you should have the greatest confidence that you can ever have. So when you're trying to lead people to my words, have great confidence that the words are correct. You cannot have confidence in how they're going to react. I didn't even know how people would react when I walked the earth. So you certainly are not going to be able to gauge it either. But I tried. I did my best to bring the words that I was speaking to the people. That's all you can ever do. Do your best. That's all I have ever expected of my humans, is doing the best that you can do at whatever you try. When you're employed, do the best at your job, because it will probably lead to increased compensation, maybe more authority. Maybe what you want to truly do with your life will come as a reward. You never know what twists and turns life is going to take. All plans, all life plans have got many twists and turns in them. It's intended. There will always be things that you cannot anticipate, but there are always things that you can plan for by believing in me. When you have the foundation of faith, things are going to happen to shake your world, but you have the foundation to overcome it. You know what is true, and you know what is not true. Many people don't know that. If they're not listening to these words, it's up to them. There are religions that have misled the people. It's been taking place since I walked the earth. When I walked the earth, people were not writing my words down, and the church used changes in what I spoke for their own power. Everyone, well, not everyone, those of you that are listening, I think are not doing these things. But through the years, people used my words and changed them for their own power, so that their religious organization could gain more wealth, so that people would rely on the church to enter heaven. That is the biggest lie that was ever told, because your soul is going to heaven when you pass. There's no way around it. Each individual has an individual path to heaven. That's why I tell you there are infinite paths to heaven, because there are almost an infinite number of humans, and each soul has its own path. Each soul simply depends on how you live your life. But you all know that, those of you who take time to listen. We need to reach the ones that walk away. It's very, very difficult, because I failed at it. Sometimes you succeed, sometimes you don't. But that's the way life is. In life, you succeed, you have wonderful moments, and then you have moments of failure. I want you to feel the highs and the lows of life, so that you appreciate the highs much greater than the lows. When you're following my words, you are going to have more highs than you will have lows. That is one true advantage. People that don't believe in me, they're some of the most unhappy people that walk the earth. They think they're happy. They may put illegal drugs into their arms. They may drink alcohol. They may do all the things that harm them and think it's bringing happiness, but it's not. The true happiness comes from knowing me. There's nothing will bring you a greater happiness than that. Because when you know me, good things happen. People come to you and thank you. People listen. When you are known for living a good life, yes, there will be people try to take advantage of you. We see this all the time. But your core happiness, that is what's so important. I want you to know that I am with you every moment of every day. I'm always here. I'm always waiting to hear your words of prayer. I'm always loving you. I'm always trying to have you do your best. And I am always the crutch that will help you when you stumble in life, that'll keep you walking, keep you upright, keep you doing what I want you to do. So think of me as a crutch. Think of me any way you want, as long as you pray to me and as long as you believe in me. So thank you so much. I truly enjoy this. I enjoy speaking. When Barry and I started, I thought we would only do it for a short period of time, but we've been doing it now for years. And there are many of my little conversations that are available for you to listen to. So I am truly blessing all of you. I love all of you. And I know that you are doing what you feel is your best. Thank you and goodbye. Another great message. I say that every week, so it shouldn't surprise you. So Friday night, we do Pathways to Knowledge. Sunday morning is always a great show. We always have a Holy Spirit. Last week we had John the Baptist, and he had a message on Sunday morning. I never really know who it's going to be too much ahead of time, but they're always great. Archangels, Holy Spirits. It's a wonderful way to spend your morning. It only lasts for 20, 25 minutes, so take time, listen to it, and enjoy it. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate all that you do for me. Without you, I would truly be wasting my time. Goodbye, and have a blessed week.